It's Christmas time, and some of my favorite Christmas memories involve me getting Nintendo games. As kids, we didn't have expendable income, so one of the only times per year we'd get our own games was Christmas. That's why this year, to celebrate the holidays, I'll be taking a look back on my childhood games for the Nintendo Entertainment System on this very special episode of Video Game Nostalgia.
Goodbye.
So today I'll be taking a look back at my childhood NES games, and I'll be doing this in mini review format, but I'm going to kind of be doing it in a strange order. I'll actually be showing these in the order in which I received them. How fitting, since my very first episode, Video Game Nostalgia, was about my first ever video game, Super Mario Bros. 2.
I can't think of a better game to start my NES career with than Super Mario Bros. 2. It was probably the most popular game in the world at the time. No one knew or cared that it was just a retooled Doki Doki Panic, because it was Mario, and it was awesome. I was immediately captivated by the beautiful worlds in which you could explore. The game was very challenging at the time for me, but the great controls, gameplay, level design, and choice of playable characters made my introduction to the world of video games a memorable one, and I couldn't wait to play more. If Mario 2 was a great introduction, Mega Man 2 blew the doors off and made me a lifelong fan of video games. Still to this day, when I pop it in, I am transformed to my 8-year-old self enjoying this game again. The gameplay is nearly perfect, as it has just the right amount of difficulty to make it a truly enjoyable experience. And then there is the Metal Blades, which may be the best Mega Man weapon of all time. I have to stop. I could spend all day gushing about the graphics, music, and level design, but it's just easier to say this may be my favorite Nintendo Entertainment System game of all time. I was actually a little disappointed when I got the Tengen version of Tetris because I had asked for the official one and felt I was cheated with a knockoff. That opinion changed pretty quickly when I started playing. Tengen Tetris may in fact be the best version. The music is great and the colors just pop off the screen. I had a lot of fun playing against friends and family, and looking back on it, I'm glad I got this version. I have no idea how I ended up getting this game because I sure didn't ask for it. The only thing I can think of is that my mom had a crush on Fabio, and he was the cover model, so she bought it for us. Iron Sword was never my favorite game, as I have thought the controls were kind of frustrating and I never really figured out how to attack. Still to this day, I just bounce around until I die. I'm not saying it's a bad game, just one I don't understand. Like a lot of people, I got my copy of Dragon Warrior when I signed up for my first subscription to Nintendo Power. I've been very vocal about how I didn't understand how to play this game as a kid, and it would turn me off from role-playing games until my mid-teens. Looking back, I wish I had spent more time with it, as it is the father of JRPG in North America, and I do plan on going back to finish it. I just have to get over my annoyance with the slow level grinding, and really, there really needs to be a stairs command? Really? I couldn't pass up the opportunity to play one of my all-time favorite arcade games at home, and I don't think there was anything cooler than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at that time. Turtles 2 was a very well done port of the arcade game, considering it had to be simplified to work on the 8-bit Nintendo. It managed to maintain all the action and the feeling of playing the arcade game, not to mention some of the absolute best music on the NES. The only thing I wish they left in the arcade was the difficulty. I was so excited to get Mega Man 3 after falling in love with Mega Man 2. After playing it, I liked it, but I didn't think it was as good as Mega Man 2. While the graphics and music were certainly on par, and there were some great inclusions like the slide and Proto Man, I found the difficulty was a little ramped up, and the pea shooter wasn't as effective, which really made the game less enjoyable for me as a kid. There is still a huge debate today from gamers on which is the best between 2 and 3. I'll always love Mega Man 2 more, but 3 is almost just as enjoyable. Double Dragon is synonymous with the NES, and once I started seeing the commercials and ads and magazines for the sequel, there was no way I wasn't asking for this for Christmas. While it plays differently from the original, a little bit, it's still an excellent game, with great music, improved graphics, and some very unique level design for a side-scrolling beat-em-up. I have the fondest memories of the helicopter stage and watching enemies get sucked out the door. Something that's always troubled me is how to do the special spin kick that still to this day I haven't mastered. This was a game I asked for solely based on the box art. It was so basic, yet so cool. Needless to say, I was a little disappointed. The game really doesn't look very good. The graphics are not far off what it would look like on Atari, but thankfully the game is still pretty cool. I mean, you start out in this awesome car and fly out to start busting and shooting drug dealers. The gameplay is okay, but I find it very hard. Being an arcade port, this isn't surprising. And the searching for keycards gets monotonous, but not enough to make it a bad game. I don't know anyone as a kid that owned an NES but didn't have Super Mario Bros. 3. I mean, after seeing The Wizard, this was on everyone's list. In fact, most people get a NES just to play it. I love Super Mario 3. It took the play mechanics of the original game, combined that with the level design elements of the second, and made one of the best games ever. While I agree to a point that the game is a little overrated, it's still one of the very best and easily one of my favorites from childhood.
I just wanted to give you a heads up that the next few games may seem out of order. My mom got them at a Canadian store called Byway, and they were severely discounted and sold well after their initial release.
When the term NES Hard was invented, I'm pretty sure it was in relation to this game. But it's a classic, and our first chance to play as the Turtles at home. I mostly played this game as a rental or at a friend's house, and always thought it would be just too hard for me. Luckily my brother got it for Christmas one year, and we got to appreciate this great game. Outside of its difficulty, the controls are very good, the music is superb, and the enemy design, while not really fitting the Turtles universe, works in this game. Though my favorite enemies are still from the cartoon. One of the most iconic scenes in video game history is watching Billy Lee's girlfriend get punched in the stomach. Double Dragon starts you off with a bang as you immediately want to get revenge. Initially your moveset is pretty basic, but as you gain points, your character levels up and his moveset improves. As a beat 'em up on the NES, it's fantastic. Graphically, it's very clean and bright, and its music is just incredible. Unfortunately, the game adds some platforming that is, well, less than spectacular. Air Fortress isn't the best looking game, as the graphics and colors leave a lot to be desired, but if you can get past that aspect, it's actually a pretty interesting game. Air Fortress combines shoot 'em up stages with a fortress maze element that is pretty fun. In the shoot 'em up stages, you collect power-ups like energy and bombs that you will need to use in the fortress stages. While definitely not one of my favorite games, it's fun for what it is. My last game is one of my all-time favorites, and it wasn't even mine originally. My friend Joey got The Legend of Zelda, and we would play it all the time at his house. When my family was moving away, he gave me his copy, so I finally had time to explore and play the game the way it should be played. The Legend of Zelda was groundbreaking, as it provided an open world to explore in whatever path you decided. I spent many an hour lost in this game, but I never stopped enjoying it and finally finding where to go. I can still turn this game on today and get the same enjoyment I did as a kid, which is a testament to just how good this game is.
So those are the games that shaped me as the gamer I am today. My childhood NES games. I want to give a big thank you to my friend Matt the LJN Defender, who I kind of stole this idea from, and he did the exact same thing in his 2-year anniversary video. Everybody please go check that out. I hope you all enjoyed this look back at my childhood NES games. I would love to hear from you guys what games you had as kids, either in the comments below or even if you want to do a video response, that'd be very cool. And last but not least, from my family to you and yours, have a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. You got something to say, little man?